Hi everyone, I'm Dương and now welcome to the mini story for the race. Let's get started. It was 5 o'clock and Alan was riding his motorcycle in San Francisco. When was Alan riding his motorcycle? At 5 o'clock, Alan was riding his motorcycle. Was Alan riding his car? No, Alan was riding his motorcycle. Where was Alan riding his motorcycle? In San Francisco. Alan was riding his motorcycle in San Francisco. When was he riding? At 5 o'clock. Alan was riding his motorcycle in San Francisco. He was riding down Van Ness Street and came through a stoplight. Who was riding down Van Ness Street? Alan was riding down Van Ness Street. What was he riding down Minka Street? No. He was riding down Minka Street. Was he riding down Beckman Street? No, he wasn't riding down Beckman Street. He was riding down Van Ness Street. When was he riding down Van Ness Street? At 5 o'clock. He wasn't riding down Van Ness Street. Who was riding down Van Ness Street at 5 o'clock? Alan. Alan was riding down Van Ness Street at 5 o'clock. Was he in a truck? No. He was in a truck. He was on his motorcycle and he came to a stoplight. Did Alan come to a go light? No. He didn't come to a go light. He came to a stoplight. We never say go light. We only say stoplight. Who came to a stoplight? Alan's a car. Alan came to a stoplight. What was he on when he came to a stoplight? A motorcycle. He was on a motorcycle. When he came to a stoplight. Where was a stoplight? Wow. On Van Ness Street. The stoplight was on Van Ness Street. Was the stoplight and America Street, or was a stoplight on Van Ness Street? Van Ness, of course, Van Ness Street. The stoplight was on Van Ness Street. Who was at the stoplight? Alan was at stoplight. Which city was Alan in? In San Francisco. Of course, Alan was in San Francisco. Where is Van Ness? Well, Van Ness Street in San Francisco. Of course, Van Ness Street in San Francisco. Is Van Ness Street in New York? No, Van Ness Street in San Francisco. Where was riding? He was riding on Van Ness Street in San Francisco. And he came through a stoplight. A red ferry put up next to him. Did the red ferry put up behind him? No. Not behind him. The red ferry pulled up the next to him. What pulled up next to Alan? A red ferry A red fairy put up next to him. Did Alan pull up next to a fairy? No, Alan didn't pull up next to a red fairy. A red fairy pulled up next to him. Where did the red fairy pull up next to Alan? At a stoplight on Vanna Street. At a stoplight on Vanna Street, a red fairy pulled up next to Alan. Was Alan in a red fairy? No. Alan wasn't in a red fairy. He was on motorcycle. Alan was on motorcycle. What did the red fairy? Wow! It pulled up next to Alan. The red fairy pulled up next to Alan. The driver wearing dark sunglasses. So Alan was wearing dark sunglasses. No. Not Alan. Alan wasn't wearing dark sunglasses. Who was wearing dark sunglasses? The driver of ferry. The driver of ferry was wearing dark sunglasses, not Alan. The driver looked over on Alan. Did the driver look behind Alan? No, he looked over at Alan. Who looked over at Alan? The driver of the ferry looked over at Alan. Did Alan look over at the driver? Yes, he did. Alan also looked over at the driver. Who was the driver? Tom Cruise. Tom Cruise was the driver. Alan looked over at driver and realized that the driver was Tom Cruise. Who was the driver of the ferry? Tom Cruise. Tom Cruise was the driver of the ferry. Who was the motorcycle rider? Alan. Alan was the motorcycle rider, and Tom Cruise was the driver of the ferry. Who looked over at Alan? Tom Cruise. Tom Cruise looked over at Alan. What was Tom Cruise wearing? Sunglasses. Tom Cruise was wearing dark sunglasses. Was Alan wearing dark sunglasses? No, he was. Alan wasn't wearing dark sunglasses. Tom Cruise was wearing dark sunglasses. He looked over at Alan. Tom snarled at Alan. Oh no, did Tom smile? No, he didn't. Tom didn't smile. He snarled at Alan. Was Tom friendly and nice? No, he wasn't friendly and nice. He snarled at Alan. Did Alan snarl at Tom Cruise? Or did Tom Cruise at Alan? Well, Tom Cruise snarled at Alan. After he snarled, what did Tom Cruise say? Well, he said, when the light turns green, let's race.